Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of Just Say. I got my boy
saying.
Costa, the creator, Ashley ...
Refrain from the government name.
Yeah. Hey, we've been trying to get a nickname for him, but
Just call me Ash.
Maybe what? Yeah, okay, Ash.
Ash is fine.
Yeah,
bro.
Ash.
I like.
Yeah,
Ash.
but there's another name for when you're pushing your mixtapes.
You know what? I'm just gonna call myself Ash, man. I'll come
Ash,
with the name.
Ash is dope.
Yeah, just call Ash.
No, I think with the 3 dots, I think it works.
Dot. Yeah.
Dot.
There's more to come.
So
Ash.Carter.
I like that one. Yeah, please write it down. Oh yeah, it's on record. We're recording. So great. Yeah. Disclaimer. We're not psychiatrists, psychologists, philosophers. We're just 3 men that are just saying.
Yes.
I think the only certification we've got is we're all 3 married men, so
Yes.
we all have certification in marriage.
Yes. It's a certificate.
Yeah. So that one, we are professionals there.
Right.
So best believe that. So please, guys, feel free to subscribe, like, share, support the movement.
Yes.
Today's topic is black tax. What is black tax? Should we get rid of black tax? Do we believe in black tax? Is it important to have black tax?
Yeah.
Who's gonna start on this? Costa.
So, as the fire starter of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a flamethrower. Let's see.
So, I will go through some searches that I did online. So, the first simple one says black tax is a term used. So, this is Wikipedia. So, black tax is a term used in South Africa for money that a black or other person of color professional provides to their family every month outside of their living or outside of their own living expenses, usually out of obligation. It is caused by continued economic imbalance that can be traced back to apartheid or slavery. So that's the African context. Then I started thinking about, okay, what about the rest of the world? So
The black Americans.
on Fast Company, there's an article about black tax. And there's a lady, she says, many blacks in my peer group are making good money, but because they're the first person in their family to make it, they're still living paycheck to paycheck because their money isn't just their money. Their money is mom's light bill money, little bro's football money, etc. So I think you generally get the idea.
Oh, okay. So, Saka Black tax, No, I'm not trying to be weird or nothing, but think about it though.
Yeah.
So, okay. There's this thing, it'll come back to culture. This is gonna bite us in the ass, but it's cool.
The relatives are going to be like, okay.
Oh my god, Saka, this is what you think about me. But it's fine though. I think I'm old enough to just tell
It's
everybody
reality, man. Yeah.
to go to HE double hockey sticks. So okay. It's like a black tax is out of obligation. It's not really up to you per se. It's
So-
that guilt trip that you get
Exactly. There we go. That's it.
from your aunt, from your uncle, from your
You don't have to, but you have to.
but you don't have to, but you must. Kind
But
of
you-
scenario.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So iwe ungasiye cousin yako isina nigrini isaka mitro something. Don't throw something here. Make a plan. Or is it more to do
It
with
is. I think it's all connected. It's like when we even say someone is sold out. When you say, MC Hammer is sold out, he's got his millions, but what is he doing for the community?
Right. So they're expecting some black tax from that.
Yes.
And to some extent,
Because we raised you.
Nyaye entitlement then kind of they invalidate someone's success. I feel like there's no full attribution of your efforts.
Right. Because
in terms of your success.
Right. If you what you're saying that if you don't pay if you don't pay black tax, that means that you haven't made it. Is that what you're saying? Or is it perceived that you're not?
I feel like sometimes some people then use that as an excuse to say, to invalidate your success.
Yes.
To sometimes someone could have a PhD, I change the doctor, say, but when you come to your own family, it's Costa.
Okay.
Whereas if you had nicknames, they'll still call you that. But everyone else is saying, Dr. Ash.
So black tax manje, Papa, how does it? Is it a? I wonder sometimes how some people they internalize this kind of thing, and I don't know. Maybe we are snobs, bosses. We're snobs.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I'm saying this. Because there's not one day in my life that I've ever said, Kuti, right, I want to now go and harass Nigrini for money because he owes me. As in,
he wouldn't be where he is without me.
It's never crossed my mind.
Sometimes it doesn't work like that, Ashley. Sometimes sometimes maybe you actually do it, but you don't know that you do it.
Give me an example.
Please. I would also want to know that.
Okay, like my big brother Greaves, right? He's got his success, and then he's got his properties, and I'm struggling to get a ticket to Rwanda, but my brother's got money.
Yeah, you see, I don't
know.
Okay,
it's like that entitlement where I think he owes me because we raised
we're
him,
blood.
we made him who he is. Exactly. Which is not fair. It's his money.
Well,
okay.
Well,
okay. Let me put it to you this way. I'm telling you this from maybe like I'm saying, maybe we are different types of people.
Yeah.
One day, no, okay. Even to the extent here, my wife right now, as we are, I completely subscribe to the fact that her money is her money. I don't even think about. Can I tell Maria? Yeah, okay. I'm 100%.
I think that's even another whole podcast.
100% series.
That's another topic right there.
No, let me tell you why I'm saying that.
That's a topic right there.
Okay. With that aside, Tavi, do you know what I'm trying to say is this, bruh? There are people who only in buzz.
No.
What's right? Tavi, you're going to make a plan for me no matter what because we have
Ash, that's an extreme.
That's normal.
That's not too far fetched.
That's normal.
Okay,
I'm saying I understand.
Sometimes we also do it without knowing that we have that programming in us.
Papa Tapi, I disagree.
I used to think I didn't do it until someone checked me.
Okay, what did you do?
What did you do?
What had you done?
That whole thing of my brother Jeffrey, my brother this, he actually didn't help me with fuel, but I know he's got money and he's always doing this and he's doing that.
In that case,
until my wife had to remind me that wait, it's his money.
Yeah, but that's true.
You're not entitled. It's not fair for you to plan around them.
That's true. That was.
But you see now, with sorry to interject, Costa. You see now with siblings, it's different now. It's a bit different in a way. With siblings, I can out of my own goodwill say, hey, Nasha, here's $200, man. You know what I'm saying? Ndagaitaka something and I'll give you some money, right? And then I never expect it back.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's my brother. I don't expect it back.
Yeah.
Then he then says, okay, cool. Let me give you another 100, bro. Because you know what? And I'm no more drink.
Yeah.
Dada. Yeah. You're done. And
then
as Oita Mari Manjinga, he then doesn't or
Throw you cut two
doesn't,
kasnabas.
you know what I'm saying, at the end of it all. But I don't think I don't then go to him and say, you owe me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I don't then go to him. Doesn't go panana. No, why?
Yeah.
But
Okay,
You
all
know.
right. This is the thing now, Ash. 100% you're right. Where the term black tax came from is just the fact that you feel you have to help your siblings. It slows you down economically.
just
That's where the term
to add
came
on
from.
what you're saying, Tavi,
Yeah.
is that's very true, because if you then look at if you do the math, if you look at say I'm a Caucasian,
Yeah, our Caucasian friends.
half the times, because one, their family most likely does not extend beyond my uncles and aunties who are their parents' direct siblings.
Yes, they don't play that game.
They may know they may know
Yeah.
Kuti Bamnini maybe has his own wife and their kids and what, but it doesn't go that far. But Kunoku, as black people, your relatives stretch to your grandfather's cousin.
Yeah.
Your grandfather's cousin. And now
and the people that come with him.
yes. And not only that, imagine we're going back as far as your grandfather's cousin. Your father also has his own cousins. And you remember you also have your grandmother. You know, and you have your mother. And besides that, there's the layer of your own cousins, you know, and siblings and all of that. These people are married, and they're married into families. So you have, where, I'll give an example, you know, I run a film and photography company. If I'm competing with the Caucasian and I've got all of this behind me, if we're making moves in the market or whatever, you know, I'm starting from a negative. That even though I made 500, from that 500, if I have to take away 100 to take care of family business, I'm now starting from 400. Whereas he is, what he has,
It's his.
you know. And not only that, most likely because there's that culture where what he has. He probably inherited. There's one article. Let me just read this line. It says the reasons for wealth gap are complicated and multi-layered, with racism, historical injustice, structural inequality, and educational disparities all playing a huge role. So do career choices, marriage status, and inheritance levels for black people, which are starkly lower than white people. And because this Caucasian guy, the parents had the same thing where what they had was theirs. They were probably able to buy property and all of those other things. And this young man is starting his business from that property. So besides the fact that I have to send a quarter of what I'm making back home, I have to then pay rentals. Let's say that's another quarter. And he's still at full at the starting line. He's still at that 500. So now I'm starting at 250 and he's starting at 500. He can do so much more in terms of promotion. Not just that. I mean, even his pricing, he could play around with his pricing and charge way less than I could ever charge. To the point
100%.
where I could be even priced out of a market.
So can I ask a question though? This black tax. Let's take it to our brown friends. They do that a lot.
Yeah,
How is it that then they're successful at doing that?
that's a very good question.
Because our brown friends do proper brown tax, if you want to call it that.
No, I feel like theirs is more of a brown subsidy
What do you mean?
than a tax.
Okay, talk to me.
Because if you, I heard a story. I don't know if it was one of you guys who was telling me this, but here in Zimbabwe, you know, we have brown people come from different places.
Yeah.
India, Pakistan, lots of other different places. And I heard the story of this Pakistani guy coming here, and he told his family that, okay, I'm coming to Zim, you know. And what did these guys do? He came into a fully furnished apartment in the area where they do business. You know, usually they're next door to each other, and
Yeah. There's always their neighbors always.
yeah. And he had a specific industry he was going into. You know, when he came, besides having a place to stay, he had a place to operate from. So whatever he had saved, they probably bought as raw materials to add into the business. And within a couple of months or so, most likely this person is now running a successful business. And the thing is, when the next brown person comes,
He's doing the same for the next.
he's doing the same for the next thing. And it's like a subsidy, you know. It's like,
You're paying it forward.
yeah. Because imagine if you're going to the bank, you're getting charged however much percent, and this money is going to some rich guy's pocket who stays in Bordeaux, and that money is never going to come to you or your community.
See, that's the thing about this now. What is it about us black folk and not wanting to be together, bro? Let me tell you why I'm saying this. Because it's the same, you know, that modus operandi that you're talking about. It's the same thing with Jews as well, right?
Yeah.
So, regardless of whatever it is, if let's say a person of Jewish descent comes into Hara in Zimbabwe, they already have a leg up.
Yeah.
They're given what you're talking about, the apartment, and regardless of anything, their first customers are the Jews around them.
Yes. And besides that,
If he's gonna do falafels, whatever it is, they're all gonna. Everybody in that community has to at least buy some falafels every week to support the guy.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what it is about us that it never. Why does it never stick?
I know what it is.
Tell us, please.
I know what it is.
What is it? Is it what you call it? The what we were talking about it in the other episode? It's called the conditioning. The
yes,
the programming.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, slavery, colonialism, and racism.
I messed us up.
That shit was heavy, and for more than 1,000 years and so forth. Don't devalue the power of what
happened.
Caused.
Yeah.
Costa, could you read that line again? What you read before?
Which one? The last thing I read.
Yeah, the last thing you read.
Says the reasons for wealth gap are... Okay, sorry, just hold on. The reasons for the wealth gap are complicated and multi-layered, with racism, historical injustices, structural inequality, and educational disparities all playing a huge role. So do career choices, marriage status, and inheritance levels for black people, which are starkly lower than that of white people.
Yes. That shit cuts deep, Ash. It cuts deeper than we might ever know. And
it will take a lot to unravel.
Because of there's so much. Because of colonialism, for example, and how there's been like 5 centuries of generations after generations that couldn't create generational wealth. My dad, right? My dad worked hard to take care of me and take me to school and my other 4 siblings, whilst also taking his siblings to school. He had about 10 or 15 siblings. Because he was the first boy. You know?
Just out of curiosity.
He was also taking care of his dad and his grandma. And his dad and his mother at the same time. Right?
That's deep, then brother.
I had to take care of my young brother Jeffrey and my little sister Nyarai. Right? My big brother Gordon took me to school. And Greaves took the rest of us. And at the same time, my dad had retired in 1997 and inflation hit. And the little money that he had been given for his claimant benefit, he just barely finished paying off the mortgage for our Braeside house. And after that, he had zilch, right?
That sucks.
So I'm now taking care of my dad. He's 80. He's remarried. I have to take care of him. I have to help my stepmom, same as my other siblings, and same as my stepmom's kids also. They also have to come in and help out because he has nothing. He has no income at all, and it's not supposed to be like that. But at the same time, I'm working on my own career, and my mom-in-law is still working, but she shouldn't be at work. She's 60. She shouldn't be going to work.
Yeah.
But she still has to go to work because she has nothing, no savings, nothing, nada. You know? And me and my wife have to help out and her kids. So it's all a big mess. And that's what black tax is. Sometimes it's not always somebody who's saying give. It's you also having to help your community because you can't just leave them.
But
so by the time I get to 50 and I'm a billionaire, I would have gone through so much hassle. Let's say the Jay-Z's of this world, when you hear them speak, they talk about that a lot too. They have to go through so much, whereas somebody at 25 is already made CEO of whatever Costas Photography, by his dad and given a leg up because they're smart enough to run a company and run a business. Because at 25, I was smart enough too to run a company and run a business, but I was in college.
I think
so. This time of my life, I'm wasting college. Then after that, I'm now taking care of other people. By the time I figure out the system, I'm like 50 years old.
Yeah.
I think as just to bring out another aspect of black tax is kusabatana. I think I'll give an example. There's one of my clients is a financial institution run by a woman, and they have this product they call Mukando. It's a very interesting concept.
Okay. Right.
And I think that could change the game for us. But the problem you need to... let me explain what Mukando is.
Sponsor this program.
Well, yeah. Well. So what a Mukando is I'll give an example with, say, each of us, including our wives, form what we call a money club. So you, Ash, with your wife, Tavi with your wife, me and my wife, making it 6 people in this Mukando. Every month we put in $100. Every person puts in $100 into the pot.
Yeah.
And this money every month is available to be borrowed. Whoever wants something, there's $600 to borrow from every month. So if Tavi's wife has an idea to buy and sell clothes and maybe she needs the whole 600 or maybe 300 from that 600, there's an interest that's charged on that money. It may not be as much as the banks, say 5 or 10%. If she takes that money has to be returned within an agreed upon period, say it's 3 months.
With the interest.
With the 10% or 30% interest. However, that doesn't mean that the next month she doesn't pay 100. She still pays 100. That is due every month.
Right.
Plus the interest, plus the amount she's supposed to return.
Right.
Yeah. And there are rules that everyone, within a year, everyone has to borrow because the money won't grow fast enough. So there can be a limit that each person in the group has to borrow at least 1,000 within 12 months, so that we know if we're saying 10%, there's supposed to be an additional 1.1 returned by each person. So an additional 100 by each person. And depending on how much you borrow, it could be more, plus the amount that you're adding every month. By the end of the year, that purse is then distributed amongst everyone. So that's the profit from each person lending, each person borrowing. And not only that, each person has you're encouraging investing. you know, investing in business and all of that, because like,
looking for opportunities, and you know, because when you borrow it, you need to make
exactly
something something of it.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting, man.
So it's a very
I like that.
good concept, but the problem, I think, is that people are not willing kubatana. You know, people are not willing to come together to achieve something like that. You know, I'll give an example. There's an opportunity I once saw to buy a property that was like serviced, you know, and it was quite big. And we could have, I put together this idea to say, oh guys, let's put together some money. If each couple puts in this amount, we can all buy this one piece of land and get separate titles. Maybe even do a cluster or something, you know. Each person could have walked away from there with at least two stands or units, whatever. Whatever you do, that's up to you. But for you to get to that point where everyone is
in agreement.
Oh God, it's look. I mean, sometimes people are at different stages in their lives.
Yeah, I think that's it. Probably. Because we've been on it's been Lord bless our other group we are on Tavi. There's simple things we've been trying to do for years and it don't work.
For years.
And you're like, okay, dudes, it's like it's not that much of a, but you never get the buy-in. And like you said, it's probably because we're at different stages in our lives, but
we're at different stages. There's just so much happening and different. It's just culture gets involved. There's just so much. So it's in West with Zimbabwe and the economic situation. Sometimes,
but I wouldn't even blame the economic situation. Do you know?
Together.
Yeah.
No, I mean, people throw that too as an excuse.
It's
like the group that actually is talking about. There's a time we wanted to buy goats, and we said, you know what? Let's put $50 each every month, because a goat is about $50. That means every month amongst 10 people, we got 10 goats.
Yeah.
And we keep doing that.
And they reproduce quite fast.
Yeah, and they reproduce. By the end of the year, we'll have something amazing.
Yeah.
And the guys in the diaspora were like keen. You have no idea, like Ronnie was on my case every single month. And I'm one of the guys that actually likes to do. Because, you know, because we have a we remember that line that you read? You also mentioned education.
Yeah.
And career paths. So understanding what exactly money is and where money comes from is also part of that.
I like that.
I might think so if I hear that, because Tabi will be more focused on, you know what, my agency is what's going to make me rich, because I've seen Bacchus and Brown and Kinloch and so forth do it that way, and that's the only way I can use my creativity. Whereas putting $50 into soil, into land, I remember former President Bob used to say that you know, money is in the wealth is in the soil, and we never used to understand that. So putting $50 to a goat, some people be like, you know, let me.
What do I know about goats?
Money and buy the MacBook, the new MacBook for $2,000 US.
Yeah.
And this is a true story. I'm talking to
just
how many goats
just so you can say hello.
Funny.
Iwe shamarika na phone yako yariraga ukaiansa ka shamarika ndikaansa futhi we're the same.
It's the same. You know, so I like him myself as an example, because it also then reminds me where my priorities should be. But you know, so in these groups, then putting 2,000 together or even just $50 becomes such a huge show, because my mind is not programmed to understand that, you know, there's power in numbers and there's power in the soil. That if we do some cassava or some soya beans, you know, 100 years from now, my great grandkids are going to thank me.
I think,
and if I put $2,000 into a MacBook, you know, all on the pretext that I'm going to do a dope logo later on, and, you know, I'm investing in this and that, and it's.
I think what our culture,
the friends of ours, the Indians and so forth, I've understood that.
I think what our culture lacks is an understanding of money and wealth.
Yes.
And training up, raising us up to learn what the importance of wealth.
Do you know what? Let
Is-
me put an interjection there for a second.
Yeah.
Making the money is not difficult for black people. It's not difficult, but everybody's a hustler, bro. Hey, people are hustling, trying to get this, trying to get that.
Yeah.
But then,
Okay.
what they then do with the money,
Yeah.
it then becomes okay. I'll give you an example. Most people are not. They're basically making money to survive, not to be wealthy.
Yeah.
So meaning you're going to have one generation of survivors, then the next is another survivor. It's another survivor. They keep surviving. We keep surviving instead of getting to the threshold where I make enough money so that the next, and the next. But there's this other thing that someone was telling me about investing in. And I thought to myself, and the weirdest thing is that it was probably 15 years ago. 15 or so years ago. Someone was talking about, I want to invest in trees. Like, what?
Trees.
Flipper, you're talking about meaty.
Yeah.
Don't you say,
Hey.
bruh, you know what happens with these trees? I don't harvest every 5 years, my pine trees. Is it 5 or 10 years? I can't remember. So
Wow.
you have a family that's got lots of land, and all they do is grow trees. And every 5 years, what will harvest? And when they do harvest,
Exactly.
it's an astronomical amount that then takes care of the next 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What you go down. And it's just trees growing, bruh.
I think we need to have
that mentality, Yaguti, you're not doing it for now.
It'd be nice to have a guest, eh? Like that
financial
lady
someone.
that you spoke of.
Definitely, I know she would love it, but she loves to
Yeah.
talk about money and
That's
yeah.
good.
But I
Yeah.
think for me, we need to start having like a lot of new oral culture around wealth.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we took on Christianity that then tells you that money is the root of all evil.
Yes, and the problem is now every generation is starting from zero.
You see, that's the
Every-
thing.
You know, every
Generation.
generation.
Or minors.
start- yeah,
Actually,
Yes.
or minors.
Yeah.
Because what's
Yeah.
going to happen is that some of these people, when we do, the worst thing you can ever do as a parent is leave your child in a debt shamar. Yeah. That's one of my worst.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Then they're starting
Yeah.
from minors and it.
Yeah.
Trying to make something of themselves, and then at the same time also does it, and then leave for the next
Yeah.
generation. You have to give a leg up to the next generation.
I actually feel like we have to. There has to be almost a drastic
Mind shift.
Mind shift. And the sad thing about making moves like that is some feelings may need to be hurt.
Yeah, that definitely.
You know, some people
You
may
gotta have to crack some eggs for you to make an omelet.
Exactly.
yeah.
I've started on hurting feelings.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna pay off in the next 50 years.
Yeah. So
I was just thinking as you guys were talking, on the positive side, the fact that we love each other and we always feel that we are connected and so forth, we should actually learn to use that to our advantage.
Exactly.
That's why I like the idea that Kosa was talking about, those groups and so forth.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people do those, even round with
Yeah.
women, but it's never taken in the context of then putting on interest so that the money actually makes something.
grows,
And
yeah.
forcing somebody to
Yeah.
start a business.
Yeah.
And not just to buy a microwave
Or an iPhone
or this or
13.
Yeah.
There was a time when Zim was flagged with US dollar. I think it was 2009 or so, around those crazy times. And I remember a friend of mine at the flea market in town, and they used to buy each other cars. Like the cheaper. I think it was like a car. I don't know how much it was then, but they would put money aside. They'd be dealing and doing those forex deals
Yeah.
and so forth. But they'd round amongst each other where this month we're buying a car for Costa, so everybody would put in like 1,000.
Yeah.
They buy a car for Costa,
Yeah.
and so forth and so forth. So which means the mindset is there of family as black people. It just now needs to be shifted to
wealth.
to understand wealth now, because
Yeah.
buying a car for Costa sometimes is not the right thing to do. Whereas buying land for Costa, or then maybe buying trees for Costa.
Yeah.
You know, those things that we think are stupid, or buying cows for Costa.
Yeah.
Things that we were raised to think are not wealth, but are.
That's true.
Because as black people, as Zimbabweans particularly, we have we have very little knowledge of what an asset actually is.
Mota is asset.
Mota is asset.
What is asset? Imba is asset.
Those
are two things that are hard to swallow, especially Imba. So that's something that's hard to
very
swallow.
hard to swallow.
You can have debates from here to forever
Kingdom Come.
about how a house is security when it actually isn't.
Mm.
And you only realize it when you're gone and your kids is in that house, and bills keep creeping in, and they have to sell that house.
But
to pay that bill.
per house upper, I disagree, Ango. But like you said, it's a debate that
Yeah, we can actually make it another topic. That would be interesting. I got a lot.
So in conclusion, Ash, how do we deal with this black tax?
In conclusion, if black tax, for me, if black tax is not going to benefit you as well as you, the taxpayer, and is going to be a perpetual thing that your child is also going to have to pay the same black tax, and it's not helping you and your family directly. I guess you need to just set parameters and say, listen,
let it go.
Yeah, because you want to help, but help because you can, not because you have to. That's my own.
So basically, technically, we're making breakfast and we're baking some eggs. FYI, just know breakfast is coming with eggs. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember, we're just saying.